Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. I'm on my station and I have fixed some things. So in the last videos we had a lot of problems with hiccups and freezes and all that stuff. And I hopefully can say that it at least got a lot better. So what I did to improve the situation is I went back and pushed down the graphical settings a bit. I shouldn't have to do that. So I don't have a weirdly old graphics card or something like that. And as someone recognized, I have a really good amount of RAM for my graphic card, so VRAM I think, and so I shouldn't have to do that. I did that just to be sure. I think the main things that really did something is that I turned off meteorites and drones and the cargo ships. After disabling these options, it was amazing. I still have, sometimes it still slows down a bit, but it's not really noticeable a lot. And these 2 second, 3 second, 4 second freezes completely stopped. So that's really nice. Another thing I did is basically with the help of one WSX10, that's a scripter. He did this thrust vector script on the workshop. He came to my help and basically said, okay, take a look at your scripts. It could be, and maybe it could be this and that. Really nice. And I don't know, the scripts didn't do a lot. I tweaked a bit and set the timers to not fire every damn frame, basically just fire always, don't know, 1 second, and the scripts like Tim and the LCDs still work. I had some other things that ran a lot faster and I turned them off or disabled them completely, something like that. Really nice. And then I started to do some more stuff. You can see it is, I don't feel a lot of, there is no freeze at the moment, so the simulation speed is relatively high. Good. See, there was a small hiccup, but it is not freezing for seconds at a time, so that's a good thing. I can live with it. Oh, another thing I did, someone, no, I don't have the name. I didn't write down the name. I've written down some names here on my list, but yeah, someone told me that he or she had problems too, and that moving Space Engineers to an SSD really helped. And because I thought, yeah, maybe give that a try, I did that too. So now Windows and Space Engineers share my SSD here. I think it's worth doing that, just bringing the main game you play to an SSD. I think it works out. I hope it's not too churning on the SSD. Good. I worked more on that ship, and while working on it, I noticed some things that I want to get. I wanted to make better for me. We can take a look at it, maybe. Okay. I placed down these reactors here. These are the azimuth fusion reactors. I have 4 in the back here, 1 in the front, and I also built these atmospheric thrusters. I want to encase the backside here completely. I brought down, or I built some airlocks here so that this complete room here will be exposed to the vacuum. That will get closed, and on top of that is the hangar deck, so we can close that off too. I made a point about closing in the hydrogen thrusters. I have put down one more here, not one, two, I think, two more. So we should have a good amount of thrust to land on a planet. I want to have at least double the thrust to be able to hold up the ship, and the atmospheric thrusters should really help with that. That's why I have them here. Good. I didn't work on the skirt too much anymore. But back to what I did in the meantime while I was building these reactors. These reactors take a lot of reactor components and superconductors. You can see that there. And the station was not really keeping up. So I changed some stuff there. We can go in and take a look. Let me put my list out of the way. So I'm using now a system that Tim brought into the game, basically. You can see I have I have these Tim monitors that tell me how much stuff I have, so how many components I have. And Tim always has this quota system with it. So Tim says you have this and this amount of storage, at least that's what I get from it. And then it is able to activate or deactivate assemblers to basically fill up its quotas. You can change the quotas by changing stuff on this panel. So I could go and say, I now told it to always have a minimum quantity of these materials, but it also looks for a minimum percentage of material it should have. So give me a sec. It has this minimum percentage it should have. And I think that's why it basically has these weird, crazy numbers here, 30K and all that stuff. I think that has to do with the minimum percentage. Also have now a display that tells me, okay, how much oxygen, how much hydrogen do I have, how much cargo I used, and all that stuff. Cool things. Good, but this is from the LCDs. So what I built was this. I made some more assemblers, and I want to show you how to set up the assemblers for yourself. That could be interesting for you if you're using Tim to automate your production. So the system I used before was the system that the nanite control brings with it. So that the nanite control basically says, I need this amount of whatsoever, and then I order this with the assemblers that are assigned to the nanite control factory, and I turned this completely off because the nanites overproduce. They are not, I don't need it precise, but at one point I had 50,000 steel plates in my cargo because the nanites just ordered and ordered and ordered stuff and never really stopped. So they are kind of greedy because the assemblers normally also run when they don't need anything, because there's, don't know, an order left or so. Tim seems to be a bit not precise, but Tim just makes what the quotas say. So if I don't know if I have to build with the nanite control factory, and it needs, don't know, 1000 reactor components. Let us go up again. 1000 components. The nanite control factory can basically just take it, and then the amount you have goes down, and then it says, okay, I'm below the quota or something like that. Then it just starts up the assembler for the reactor components and fills up to somewhere around the quota. You can see that the assembler for the construction components and the assembler for the steel plates is still running. These are it seems, the most used components, so it produces a lot of them. And see that stuff like medical, I don't know why I have 150. I think Epictetus also was talking about it, that having 150 medical is absolutely not needed. It is 10 times the amount you would 10 times the amount that you would need for one medical facility there. And so why should I have this amount? Good. But now let me go and do some stuff. This assembler is still unused for anything. I was just up there, and now I have to go up there again to see what I didn't solve. So I have nothing for power cells, gravity gen, and explosive. I need to take a look at the name, basically, because this is also the name we will have to list in the assembler itself. I think I definitely need gravity gens and power cells. Explosives, I will put explosive there too. So we will just make 3 assemblers, but we will build them one after the other. So we start with the gravity gens, I think. So what we do is basically we turn off this assembler. Then we take a look. Assembler 18 is the thing. So we go into the production. Search for, you can see that they are all named. I have one assembler private. That's the thing I use to just build stuff if I need something like Naquada or something that Tim can't handle because it is not set up really, ammunitions and all that stuff. So assembler 18, we go there, and then we find the gravity components, the gravity gen components. They changed, and now I don't notice them. Super asteroids, gravity gen. Hello. I can't find it. Gravity generator components. You just basically order a few of them. I don't know what it is doing. It could be because Tim is controlling it. Sometimes it doesn't recognize a mouse click. You will just have basically to power through that. So then you set that to enable or disable repeat mode. Now it's active. I clicked 3 times or so. You just need a few in here. So if I would just turn it on now, then it would produce basically gravity generator components over and over and over. That's what this repeat mode does. We go back to the control panel, and now I have to do some copying work. So I go to this arc furnace and copy this phrase, the Tim or, and it's a weird thing. The German keyboard, for some reason, we have these corner brackets there. These the ones in the brackets in the beginning and in the end. We have them on our keyboard, but Space Engineers doesn't recognize them. So if I I press that, I don't get the corner brackets. Some other mod creators took a look at that and really used the exclamation mark for the German keyboard so that we can use that. LCDs, for example, does that. As far as I know, Tim doesn't do it. So I always have to copy one of the phrases to get the corner things there. Just so you know, if you're German and you have to work with that, then make a text file in the beginning. I did that. I just made a text file, copied the corner brackets out of there, and then copied them into the game. So that's the way you can go with that. Okay, we now need Tim to. I don't know what's up with the control panels, but it seems Tim is really doing stuff with the assemblers. So everything in the assemblers runs not really well. It doesn't accept copy commands. It doesn't accept the paste commands and all that stuff. So I'm now I have it 3 times there. Everything's fine. I will just no. Now I deleted them. See that? That's a big problem. If you overcome that, maybe let me paste that in. Okay, there it is. Now we change this. What we do is we bring in the gravity command. So I will just use graph. Tim basically auto-completes stuff. It tries to recognize what you're trying to write, and if it is noticeable for him. So, for example, if you want to use computer, or if you want to have the word computer in there, it struggles because he also looks out for the phrase components. But if you go to the compute part, then he recognizes, okay, you want to have computers, then he auto-completes to computers. Gravity generators, there is nothing else that uses GR, I think. So it produces just gravity generator components. And it already started, you saw that. As soon as you put this in, then it knows, okay, this is the assembler for gravity generator components. I don't have the quota filled now. I just getting out of the control panel is the worst. And we can take a look. Okay, it already see 107, 100 quarters fulfilled. It also indicates that with this progress bar here, gravity gen, now it stopped producing them. Now we do the same for power cells, and we will do that for explosive too. It could be that I don't have the necessary materials for explosive, but we will see. Let us put down another assembler. We will also put the upgrade modules on there, so that also will work out. Let us wait until the nanite control fixed that. Maybe I can also activate this one. I turned them off because I thought it could be also the nanites, and it still could be the nanites that bring down, that tank basically my performance here, but having 2 here can't be too bad. Okay, so same here. Let me this is assembler 19. We turn that off. Go into the production again. Find assembler 19. Come on. Go for the power cells. Now I have to find the power cells. There they are. They look like one of these animal boxes when you want to pick up your your cat or your small dog and put it into one of these boxes, and then bring them to the veterinarian. Is that the right word? I hope. I don't have house pets or pets, so I wouldn't know. And in English, I wouldn't know especially. Okay, now we go back to the control panel again. Come on. Assembler 19. We just add the phrase and then powered. Come on. Power cell. Okay. That should work. It also is producing the stuff. Now we just add. Come on. It is so weird when it slows down in the control panel. It completely slows down the way it works, and then when you get out of the control panel, you're back to normal speeds again. It's weird. Maybe I have to turn off maybe I have to turn off Tim. I could try that too, but on the other hand, I just have to do one more component. Productivity module. I want to have a productivity module here. One here, and because we should save up a bit on energy, we also put down one of the power modules here. You can put them here on top of here. There's one and one of these slots, so these two machines share this thing. That's how I have set it up for all of them. And if I ever need it even faster, then I could add another productivity module on the other side, or could put an effectiveness module down there. Maybe I try that. I don't know what effectiveness does for assemblers. I know that for refineries it basically gives you more ore, more ingots per ore, something like that, but I never tested it for the assemblers. Then let us set up the last one too. Turn it around, place that thing, wait for it. Okay, and then whole thing again off. Find that thing. Where is it? 20. See, you need 20 assemblers or so to have all the normal components taken care of. So what I will not make an assembler for Naquada, for the wormhole portal, or I have another thing. There's another thing on there that I could also make an assembler for, but no, it's not necessary. That is stuff I basically get not enough fun of that it really would make a point to have extra assemblers for that productivity module. So no thing there. And now let's take a look at the quotas and all that stuff. That works out. So sometimes it basically changes the quotas. It could have to do with the cargo containers I've set up. You can see that I have 81 million liters of cargo. So it could be that Tim struggles with the azimuth cargo containers. And I have two set up for components. And these things have huge amounts of space in them. And it could be, again, that Tim doesn't recognize them, and now he basically sees, okay, I can put more in there, and then he changes the quotas. Maybe using normal cargo containers for components would be better. we could think about doing something like that. Maybe leave your opinion on that, if it's better to not confuse Tim. Maybe some of you have have experiences with Tim and the azimuth cargo containers. For me, it's okay. Let Tim do his job, and he's doing it pretty well, producing what he has there. And you see that he just starts up the assemblers and then produces what he needs to produce. It's amazing. And the nanites can then just grab that, use that up. Tim has the oversight about that, and that's a good thing. We could take a look. What I'm always interested in is that the nanites basically take in a lot of materials just because they can. They fill up their interior cargo space basically, and don't care what there is, and it confuses Tim. Weird stuff. Let me go and take a look at it. Okay, see, normally this is completely full with stuff, and now it just takes a bit of stuff in, and I don't know, it seems to be the stuff it needs for the, yeah, that's stuff that it would need for an assembler. The nanites take more than they really need. And again, Tim doesn't recognize that, gets confused, produces more. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It was worse before. Because then the nanites just, okay, I need all this stuff. Produce everything I need. Assemblers that are connected. It's amazing. Good, people. I think that's all for today. We did some work with the script here. That's neat. I will definitely come back to that at one point. But now we are good to go. Set up here in the station to really process all the ore and produce everything we need. So we can use this still as a shipyard and all that stuff. I'm really happy with that. One thing I need to do in the near future is get a bit more material in here. There's also quotas set, and we don't fulfill them for everything. So we might want to go out and mine a bit. But that's all for today. I hope you liked the episode, people. If you did, then please leave a like on it. That's a way to help me out and a way to show me that you found it informative. Maybe leave a comment, and I hope to see you in the next episode. See ya, guys.